Okay, I am officially so freaking excited for this restructuring of the podcast. I feel it has been the freaking wildest, greatest gift I could give myself. Really following my intuition. Although I don't want to say my intuition because it was so much stronger. You know this feeling when you feel something's really for you, but you don't fully follow, and then it just gets so dense and difficult and like harder to breathe. This is literally how I felt about this podcast. And it took me really some time to figure out what's the issue with it. And rebranding from manifesting to Big Money Fast to the Big Money Podcast, it's the greatest gift I could give myself in 2024. And if you are currently restructuring and closing doors, I'm here to tell you it's been on your mind for a reason, and you gotta follow. Because the thing is that the moment this is when we are in an occupation where it is about personal growth, we are growing more like the average person, right? And that also means your business has to grow and evolve. And for most of us, that means certain offers are not longer in alignment. Certain pieces of content or even opinions we used to stand for are no longer in alignment simply because we have evolved. We feel, okay, hey, it's time for something new. And if we don't follow this, things get very dense and difficult in our business. So today, I truly desire to talk to you about, in a way, the lies the coaching world tells you about the real business world. And this is something that always has been on my mind, and I was always comparing as being a former investment banker, which obviously is one very wild extreme. It's only about logic, numbers. It is super rational. There is no room for emotions. Let me think, my intuition, all those aspects, there's just no room for it. Either the numbers can tell the story or not. It is very analytical. And then evolving my business coaching, my coaching business, which initially started as being a business coach for women, into something more spiritual, more into the energetics. And people always told me there that, oh my gosh, and these are the lies we're going to talk about. Really, it's all about energetics. It's all about your mindset. You don't need a website. You don't need funnels. You don't need ads. It's like we don't do this here. And this was very weird for me in the beginning. However, the more mindset work I started doing, the greater financial success I had. So I kind of bought into this belief, oh, it's not required. It's not required. Cool. So then let me just drop all of this. And I deeply believe today, and that's why I am beyond grateful for all the experiences I've had, for following my inner guidance, for following my intuition, and coming to the point where I am today. And this probably will evolve again. But in 2024, this is really what I've experienced as someone who almost made $20 million in sales in the coaching industry, starting in Germany, switching to English, growing an audience from a national audience to an international audience, to becoming a global brand. There is so much wisdom I can share, which I am going to share in this podcast, obviously. But most likely, what I've realized today is it is not either or. It is not just focus on the strategy or focus on the energetics. It is also not a combination. Today, what I feel for me is true is the business, the strategy, the system, the team, like the accounting, the leadership, how we analyze our numbers. This is, for me, the real traditional business world, let's call it like this, right? This is the exterior. The interior is the energetic, the mindset. And let me give you a clear example about what I mean. Imagine we're building a house, right? Like you have this big vision. You want to plan your own home, your house, right? Wouldn't you agree that the first thing you start building and doing in order to create this vision, in order to create your home, is you've actually built the foundation. It's like the outside, right? It's the walls, the foundation, the windows, the doors, just like the outside, the roof. Once we have that, we are going to the interior foundation. And once we have that, we actually start decorating the house. And if I'm reflecting back, why was I so successful with energetics and manifestation work in my early years of my business, is because the foundations I've built were insane. Like how I started out, I had systems in place, and this is what I'm going to talk about on Wednesday's episode. I'm really diving into the details. How and what systems did I have in place in the beginning? But my business was always set up like a real business, not like a hobby. So I know how to read balance sheets. I know how to read profit and loss statements. I know how to talk to my accountant. I know how to talk to my tax advisor. I speak their language. Like I really bring a solid business knowledge. Obviously, I have a master's degree in international business. I was in investment banking for 5 years, so I have so much knowledge, which has been so beneficial. And this is sometimes people don't see this. And it's definitely a requirement as a business owner. So the house I've built in the beginning, the foundation was so strong. And then what happened is I never really cared about the interior, about the mindset, about the energetics, simply because I didn't know it existed, right? So there I was, and I've built this beautiful house from the outside. And then the trainers I had showed me how to decorate it beautiful from the inside through manifestation and energetics. And that skyrocketed things for me, till I hit another upper limit about last year ago. And it took me really some time, and maybe you can resonate with this, that I was at this point where I'm like, man, I'm doing exactly what I used to do in the past, and I've received the wildest crazy results from this. Why is my freaking business not growing anymore? Not growing as exponential as it was? Like, I just didn't understand. And it literally took me a full year to figure this out, what was happening. Till I realized, wow, I've built this beautiful house. I've decorated everything. The interior design was beautiful, but wouldn't you agree? In order to grow, like, yes, I can change the interior design over and over. This is a mindset, the energetics. But if I don't change the exterior of my house, it will be the same. It's like, yes, you can build a freaking new kitchen in your house every year, and you can change it over and over again. But it's not going to increase the kitchen space of your house, because the foundation, the house, the walls, they are simply there. Till I realized, wow, it's really going back to where I started, leading with the business, building now not a house, but a castle. That is really an empire for 8 figures, making $1 million months. And that looked so different than what I had in place. So this year I've been focusing so much on that. And I'm receiving exponential growth again. And this is for me really the balance when you are growing from 7 to 8 figures, from $100,000 month to $1 million month. If you're on this journey, it is you first lead with business, with strategy, with a foundation, right? Like building your house. And then you can move to the interior, which is the mindset and the energetics. But you don't want to live in one of these worlds. And for me, it's also not a kind of a balance. It's like, first we lead with that, like building a house. Everybody would agree it doesn't make sense first to build the kitchen if I don't have a house, if I don't have walls, if I don't have a window. There's a reason why the interior design is happening after. And for me, this has been really the truth about building a business and keep growing my business to $1 million a month. And this is something I've experienced. Many people ask me, why did you change the podcast? That I've had too many people in my world that thought, okay, let me just focus on manifestation, kind of hoping I would do the work for them. I have a secret formula for them because they saw my wild financial success and I thought, okay, let me just do this manifestation things. But for many of them, it didn't work. For many it did, for many it didn't. And I really question myself. I'm like, how is this possible that people in my world have very different results? And I'm always about the results my clients have and why they have them or why they don't have them. And that was so clear to me that there are people, first of all, that are showing up, that can lead themselves, that can do the work. And then there are also clients where they just want me to be kind of like their mother, to hold their hands, and like they can't lead themselves. They need an accountability partner, and there's nothing wrong with it. For me, for instance, I love going to my yoga classes in the morning to a freaking group program because I love the accountability of a program at a fixed time, a fixed workout. I don't have to think about anything. I just realized this doesn't work in a business world. It doesn't work in a business world to have or need an accountability partner. Eventually, there has to come the point where you fully can lead yourself. Otherwise, I just haven't seen anybody who skyrocket or build an 8-figure, 9-figure business without being able to fully lead themselves. And this is, trust me, the hardest. Like, how are we showing up when no one's watching? But this is where we're really turning from just media, nice money, to truly making big money. The other part I've realized why clients had wild success and not is definitely seeing that the people that didn't have wild financial success didn't have a freaking business foundation in place. They just thought, oh my gosh, I'm seeing how much money is made in the coaching industry. Let me join this. I think it's possible for me because someone told them. But we reached a point where we gotta talk the truth. And for me, the truth is, if you want a coaching business, it's not just you learning how to become the best freaking coach that's out there, but you have to you have to learn how to become a freaking business owner. And there's so many skills or different aspects you have to master. It's marketing, it's sales, it's accounting, it's finance. It is strategic aspects. It is email marketing. If you have an online business, like online marketing in general, not just marketing. There's so many new skills in the beginning that you have to master at once. Of course, skill by skill, but it's a freaking big spectrum if you don't bring it from the past. And many people haven't been in a business position before and they don't know this. And the thing is really, and I see this, and we're talking about this especially more on Friday, I'm sharing some really, really personal insights in this Mastery Edition. That you cannot, I would say it's easy and definitely possible to scale your business to $1 million a year without having all the skills in place. It's going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of work. but it's definitely doable. But now we're talking about 10, 12 million a year. And now we're reaching a point where you can't run the show by yourself. So now it means you gotta have leadership, not just for yourself, because before it was like mostly you leading yourself, which can bring you great results. But now it's you leading yourself and leading others. And again, complete new skills. You have to learn how to lead other people. Trust me, in my one-on-one coachings, right now, the majority of conversations we are having is like how to start a team, grow your team, build a team, lead the team. And many people say, oh my gosh, this is even harder than I thought before. Yep, I agree. And it comes to a point where now also from 7 to 8 figures, it is not just about you learning more about like the coaching industry and then investing those kind of like personal coachings, like, or even personal business coachings. It now has to become, the investments in my eyes, really about leadership, because we are now reaching a point where you want to hire always the best people possible. You want to hire the best people for marketing. You want to hire the best people for sales. You want to hire the best people for customer service. You want to hire the best people for strategic decisions, etc. So you're now reaching a turning point where it's about hiring people for the work you used to do, for most of the work you used to do. And your task is just leading those people. It's a complete different game, and I feel no one talks about. But you're thinking right now that with the skills and the things you did in the past, you would now be able to achieve new results. And that's not possible. It's really, I've seen this in investment banking when we grew companies really from startup to IPO, got them listed on the stock exchange. There was not one single company I can remember that just was able to get on this journey without learning new skills over and over again. And I hope this episode really reminds you that it is not a balance, a simultaneously balance of like mindset and energetics and strategy, but it is really lead now by this house example and ask yourself, what's a house currently looking like you've built from the outside? The strategy, the systems, the marketing, how are things running, the sales? Okay, once this is in place, how's the inside? The energetics, you. Are you currently at a place where the house you've built in the past is most beautiful, decorated? Meaning it's not time to invest more in mindset and energetics, even though it brought you amazing results in the past. But it's really time to build the next foundation, the business foundation, the outside, like building a villa now. I hope this helps you. If you haven't signed up for the signature edition on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, I'm really going providing you guys a deep dive into how the tools, the strategies I've used from the beginning and I'm still using, and how I'm currently upgrading in my business. It is a very tools episode, and on Friday I'm sharing some very, very personal behind the scenes about this whole process, what I've experienced, the clients I've attracted, why those were not the dream clients I wanted to work with, how to change, how to up level. So this is going to be very, very personal and amazing for you, because I feel very often when we hear someone else talking about their own journey, we can mirror so much to where we are currently. I love you. Can't wait for you to join, to see you on Instagram, have a chat about this episode. I love you. You've got this, and $1 million months are so much closer than you think.